To politics now, a number of names have been popping up for the ANC presidency. That's ahead of the party's 55th elective conference in December. Among them are President Cyril Ramaphosa, former Health Minister Zweli Mkhize, Tourism Minister Lindiwe Sisulu, and CoGTA Minister Nkosazana Dlamini-Zuma. But CR22 is said to be experiencing difficulties because members disagree on candidates for the party's other top 5 positions. Let's get some analysis on this with Zamokuhle Mbandlwa. Zamokuhle, good morning and thank you very much for your time. Now, as a start, it seems, though, that President Cyril Ramaphosa's candidacy for a second term enjoys a great amount of support if we're to just go on the provinces that have pronounced publicly. But the same can't be said about the other 5 top posts. What do you make of the latest developments, though, particularly in that Renew 22 slate?
Good morning. Thank you very much. Good morning to the viewers at home as well. Well, some time ago, I spoke about a similar topic, and I see that what I've said is actually developing, and I can tell that I can also add to what I've said. The problem with the leadership, currently, there is a process of nominating candidates. The ANC have started the process, which is about to end next week on the 25th. But if you look at the process itself, you can tell that they are likely to extend the nomination process. Well, the problem with the public at large is to rely mainly on what the provincial leadership of different provinces are saying about their perspective about the national leadership. Well, now at this point, branches are making their own preferences. And the problem is, at this point, is not about the president himself, but it's about the leaders that are coming with him. And again, the problem is also about the top 6 positions, which then means that if you are aligned with people that are contesting, like Dr. Zweli Mkhize and the current president, NDZ and Lindiwe Sisulu, then if you are in support of those candidates, the presidential candidates, then you are likely to be in the top 6. And the members are saying something different. They are saying, we might support Lindiwe Sisulu, but the deputy president, we disagree with the candidate and all other positions in the top 6. So that's where the problem is, because factions are actually working together to say, this is the slate that you are supporting. On the other hand, members on the ground are saying, no, we are not supporting these individuals, but we do support your political ideology as a faction, and also we support the presidential candidate. So this is where the problem is today.
But was it a good decision, though, to put together a slate, or it would have been in the best interest of the president to let his allies battle it out, where he remains the one at the top and everybody else decides to battle for the other top 5 posts?
You see, the problem is the presidential candidates themselves, they do not have power to decide who become a deputy president, who become the secretary general, DSG, and the treasurer. So that's where the problem is. The factions themselves, and remember, we're talking about the national leadership here, not a provincial leadership. So you cannot, even if you prefer leaders from a specific province, but you cannot decide, because the conference is a game of numbers. If you don't have numbers, you cannot detect who must be where in the leadership of the National Executive Committee. So that's where the problem is. And at this point, branches and provinces are singing a different song in terms of the leadership. That is why you find provincial structures who are supporting the current president, but the regions and branches are saying, no, we are not supporting the current president. They have their own reasons. We are supporting this particular candidate. And that is why I was saying earlier, I spoke about this in the past, and I believe that for the first time, you will have a national conference of the ANC, which is highly divided, where branches and regions are divided in terms of the leadership. And again, historically, the ANC have always mentioned that they want to have the succession, and they want to have the continuity in leadership. And in the past, from 1991, where the deputy presidents were actually ascending to the presidential position because they believe that the deputy president is more empowered or equipped with knowledge and skills of the president. But in this case, we don't see DD at all. he's not contesting, and it seems like he has made an agreement with some of the people that are contesting, because he's nowhere to be found in those who are contesting. You remember in the past where Mr. Kgalema Motlanthe was the deputy president, at some point he was acting. He then contested the former President Jacob Zuma in 2012, where he lost the conference. Now, at that time, it was making sense when they said the deputy president can take over. But at this point, you have people who want to be president, who have never been deputy presidents in the past, but they want to be president. And you see that they have a support. And at this point, only two factions are actually enjoying hegemony or support, even though they don't enjoy the same support.
And those two being which ones? The Ramaphosa faction, and which other faction, according to you at least, enjoys a significant amount of support?
The two factions at this point that enjoy support is the faction of the current president, but again, the support that they are enjoying is not on branches or regions. The support is from the provinces, because they still believe that provinces have a direct input on what must happen. And the second faction is the faction of the former Minister of Health, Dr. Zweli Mkhize. And if you look at the Women's League, they have pronounced that they are supporting Zamokuhle Mbandlwa Sisulu. But I'm telling you that leadership of the ANC Women's League cannot dictate or cannot actually be trusted in terms of who they are supporting, because they are currently very divided. Some are supporting the current president, some are supporting Dr. Zweli Mkhize, and and only a few are supporting Zamokuhle Mbandlwa Sisulu, and others are supporting the NTZ perspective. So at this point, I think both factions, however, we cannot rightfully say one faction will win. We can see Nasrec 202 conference whereby people will be coming from different slates. But I don't think the faction of the current president will actually enjoy a full support of delegates or people that will be part of the conference in the ANC conference, because of the differences in terms of who they want as the deputy president and as a secretary general of the ANC.